So I wanted to do this real quickly, but this is a bit of a message to Discotek Media and even Wildbrain. Now, we know that over the past year or so, Discotek has, been releasing a lot of films as part of the SD on BD lineup. One of the last Americanized Western cartoon series that they put out that involves Sonic is The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That was the last one. In fact, it's the only one so far. Now, we do have N-Circle that, had released Sonic Boom, but that's N-Circle's property and all that. The point is, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was the only one so far released. And Wildbrain right now, they know this. You got Wildbrain, if anybody's there listening to this, you know as well as I do that what you guys have been currently doing is a masterful job of basically, I guess you could say, up-converting, remastering, in a sense, the original SatAM, Sonic the Hedgehog SatAM, 26 episodes from 93 to 95. And I, along with everybody else, appreciate the fact that you are trying to, make it more, I guess you could say, worthy of 1080p, potentially 4K, but mostly 1080p, because that's the resolution you have it at. And Discotek, this is kind of interesting because, you've come out and told some people that there are a few, I guess you could say, loose ends you have to tie up. And I would assume, this is just me, because I don't know your inner workings, but I would assume that some of those loose ends have to do with Wildbrain and mostly have to do with, how much longer it's going to take them to remaster or basically up-convert to 1080p resolution-wise all the SatAM episodes. Because the most recent one they did was the pilot. And pretty much anyone knows that once you get the finale, a few occasional season 1 episodes done, but mostly once you get the pilot done, either before, way before, or maybe a little bit before, or maybe a little after the finale, that you're pretty much good to go for the entire series to be showcased in 1080p. So to me, I think the obvious issue here is, working something out, like, trying to figure out, okay, what can we put on, basically trying to figure out what you guys could put, on the set besides the episodes. And we do know that with the Shout Factory release, they did have a couple of bonus features. They had interviews with Jaleel White, they had interviews with the late Ben Hurst, and so on. So I have to wonder if maybe what you're trying to look at is not only getting access, which should be easy, it should be easy to do, to those interviews, but you're also probably trying to get access to maybe some of the other special features from maybe the original 2007 release on DVD, which is the screen to storyboard, the deleted scenes and such. And you know what? If that's the case, hey, take your time in doing so. But, with us basically within, well, not within, but in, I should say, the year of the 30th anniversary of the show itself, to me, the clock is ticking. And I don't know, like I said, the issue between you, Discotek, or you, Wildbrain, to make this happen. But to me, 1993 to 2023, this being the 30th anniversary, it's now or never, guys. It is now or never for you to basically make that announcement. Now, obviously, you like to wait to at least 3 months, 4 months after your previous announcement to do basically another Discotek Media Day, and that's understandable. And I know, honestly, for you, Discotek, your main focus is not just bringing certain anime back to the U.S. via SD on BD or straight Blu-ray, and maybe even redubbing them. I understand that your focus, one of your primary focuses is on doing that, but I also know that you have a primary focus, or secondary primary focus, on some of the Western cartoons. I know that you're also working with the Nihon Nights division that you got to bring some of that stuff over, and that's understandable. You want to make that a priority as well. But you have to understand that even though you have Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, you have Street Sharks, you have Double Dragon, and such, and now Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs coming and such. To me, I look at the fact that this being the 25th anniversary of Sonic Underground, this being the 30th anniversary of Sonic SatAM, for SatAM, it's now or never. It is now or never to do this. And if you want to do a 25th anniversary deal for Underground, it's now or never as well. But to me, I just want to know, what myself, I should say, myself and everybody else just want to know what's the holdup. Besides maybe working out a few kinks and details here and there. We just want to know, when could we expect, like, what's the holdup, and when could we expect, like, estimation-wise, when could we expect an announcement, or at least a hint of, yes, it's coming, yes, we're going to do it. That's all we're curious about. So Discotek, WildBrain, I'm going to say this. 1993, 30 years is now 2023. It's now or never for Sonic SatAM on SD on BD. To me, you get that out there, it's going to sell. It will sell tremendously. There's no doubt about that. So right now, to me, it's now or never to give us a clue, give us a hint as to when that's going to happen. Maybe, hopefully this year, as well as if you want to throw in, 25 years of Underground, you could do that too. Again, to me, 2023 is now or never for SatAM, and if you choose to do it as well, it's now or never for Underground. But please, as a fan, a supporter, as somebody that has been a fan of Sonic for a while, myself and everybody else, we're just curious. We're just wondering, balls in your court. When is it going? What is it going to be? Not what is it going to be, but when is it going to be, a reality? When are we going to get an announcement? Is it going to be soon? Let me know. Let us know in the comments, as well as in the live chat down below. I will do an audio podcast of this as well. Well, actually, I'll upload an audio podcast of this as well on my BW Rose's Discussions podcast that you'll listen to across the board on all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. But guys, Discotek, WildBrain, if I was you, I would at least try to hint at the fact that we're making progress. We're making progress in the right direction, because again, I find it ironic that WildBrain is doing all these 1080p, I should say, up conversions, remasterings, if you will, of SatAM and even Underground, and now we're in the 30th. We're now in the year that celebrates the 30th anniversary of it later on in September. Again, we're just wondering, when is it going to be? When are you going to make that announcement? That's all we're asking. Just a little bit of a clue, a little bit of a hint. So if you guys can let us know that, it would be greatly appreciated. But until then, I want to say that I do appreciate what you're doing so far with a lot of classic anime and Western animation that even comes from anime, like Saber, like Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs and such. But again, give us a clue. Give us a clue. That's all we're asking, some kind of hint, so we don't have to keep wondering and worrying for much longer. But until then, guys, take care. God bless. I'm out.